Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This. I am your host, the experienced son called Jason, and with me today,
The Todd Father.
CDO 113.
I'm token silly face Starkey. I was sitting like this when he started.
He's doing his Murdoch from 18.
I thought you were just talking about having shaved, or my bad.
What are you doing? Just chilling.
He was sitting over there like Murdoch from 18.
It was a solid double meaning though.
And today we're going to talk about role-playing games. The ones we love, how we got into the hobby, what we're doing now, what we'd like to do.
You're not gonna shout out the person that asked for this.
I can't remember his name.
My God.
Way to go, Todd. Shame the man, right on camera.
But yes, we had somebody respond to one of our previous videos.
Well, the way you do that is you go, we had a fan request this show. This both makes them feel special, and
It's vague enough.
and it gives us somebody to lay the blame on in case the show sucks.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Ah, it's Reese.
Now we just blame it on Jason.
It's
Not our
basically
fault.
the first request we've gotten, so you know.
But we're honoring it.
Yes. We have got another one since then, but somebody hasn't done the reading list yet.
Yeah, don't give a shit.
Wait, what's
Can't
this other
shame
request?
me.
For one of Panther God's, you know,
He would have
history of. He did a video on the Namor Black Panther feud.
Yeah. And he wants
Real
a
neat
read
video.
list. He wants. You had somebody who wants a read list. Unfortunately, it takes a while to do a reading list for that. So I'd appreciate if you got it off my back.
You haven't started yet.
You don't know that. I'm not finished.
Yeah.
That's the point.
He is still at the point.
Not being finished.
He is still at the point of selecting what sort of pen, what sort of paper he's going to write this with.
Pen and paper. Bah! Put it on my trusty phone.
But back to the subject of the day. All of us here are into role-playing games to varying degrees.
Yes. I voiced my opinion on this earlier by saying, I'm the video game and Japanese shit guy.
Yeah, but you play some.
Yes.
Enough that you can contribute. So we're going to get off with Danny, the oldest man in the room. Danny, what game did you start playing with, and ballpark of kind of when you started playing?
First edition D&D.
I played a game called Rock.
Now,
we rolled a rock.
No, it's like rock, paper, scissors, but paper and scissors haven't been invented. I think that's where it was going.
yeah.
I was just telling you to take a rock and throw it at somebody.
Well, that was the beginning of rock, paper, scissors.
The role you played was throwing.
The role everyone else played was
Oof.
Now, the first game I ever played, RPG game I ever played was first edition D&D. It was at my cousin's house. It was during late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in there.
So basically when the game came out,
Yeah.
I want to say D&D debuted in 77? So I think it's just barely older than I am.
Yeah. And my cousin owned a few things of D&D, and, I think the starter set and the DM book, stuff like that. And then his next door neighbor owned a bunch of the stuff, and that's how he got into it. And when I would go over there on the weekends, a lot of times spend the night, and his neighbor would come over, Eric or Cedric, I can't remember.
You don't have to say real names.
Yeah, make up a name. Nobody watching is going to know.
But he would come over, and me, him, and Adam, we'd sit there, and one or the two of them would run it, and I'd just have a ball, 'cause, never had a game like this before, and so that was my first introduction into gaming, and it kind of stuck with me. And then during that time frame, you had what they dubbed the Satanic Panic, and my mom and dad being into church forbid me from even buying it. They didn't know I was playing it over at my cousin's house. And so when we went camping a few years later, one of the guys that we would camp with brought a friend, and he brought the Marvel role-playing game. And my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Superheroes, Mom. See?" And I showed her, and it was done by the TSR.
Yeah,
the
same
same
company.
way. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And she walked off and left it, you know.
It
I
was
reached
just a
out.
satanic panic thing going on at the time.
And so that was my second foray into gaming. And I have great memories of both of those.
All right, Todd, you're the next oldest.
Oh yeah, I am. Well, hell, I started with the TSR Marvel game. That shop. My character sucked.
That would have been.
This was a great transition. How did we do this?
It's almost like almost everybody in the room was there. Freakish.
All right, so you guys started with the Marvel game.
Yeah.
About what year?
Hell if I know.
That would be early 90s, wasn't it?
No.
No.
I didn't know him until after I graduated. That was
Yeah.
late 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, late 90s.
Yeah. It had to have been late 90s because, yeah.
You know, 98, 99. Well, it was around the same time the Aberrant game came out. Because you started playing that one almost the same time.
Yeah, because that was the thing was Aberrant looked interesting. I didn't know what the hell it was. Eric was talking about that one. Was like, oh yeah, you know, we game every other Saturday, and I was like, you know, you show up. I had a Saturday, I didn't have anything to do, so I went there. Yeah, I played.
So that was. Let's see.
When did episode one? Episode one came out in '99. It was before I
And
started
think
hanging out
Aberrant
in
came
shop.
out. Aberrant
before
came
that.
out in 98 or 99.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been
98.
98 or something like that.
So despite being the second person, the second oldest guy in the room, your gaming career starts much more recently.
20 years ago. 20-something years ago.
All right, fair enough.
It's fairly recent. You know, what, 2 decades?
Compared to the 70s,
Yeah, I was playing Atari then. Yeah. You want to play this pen and paper? Hell no! See these stick dudes? It's the coolest shit ever. And the second game, of course, was Aberrant, which I actually enjoyed. We had decent stories about Aberrant. That's how I met you asses.
just keep dogging out the TSR game that Danny was running.
What? I like the Cosmic campaign great. The other one, hell, I had a expert fight. I had a super strong dude that knew kung fu that had a poor 4 fighting. That was completely pointless. I've got the ability to kick ass, except I don't know how to fight.
But if I ever happen to land a blow, it's over.
Like, how the hell can you be a martial artist with a poor 4 fighting?
Clearly, the character's parents saw how uncoordinated he was and went, we gotta get that boy some kung fu.
Just for daily life.
And I become an expert, but I still can't fight.
You lack natural talent, but you had practiced a lot, that's all.
You understand the forms, you just don't know how to use them in fight.
Bullshit.
You can do all the practice shit like a champ.
What are you? You can fight like hell if it's a video game, but in real life, you suck.
No, if you put a training dummy in front of you, hot damn, you beat the fuck out of some training dummies. You know exactly where to hit them.
No, because hell, even if I was fighting a training dummy, I was still rolling on a poor 4. I wouldn't go hit that shit either.
Yeah, rolling up characters in that game sucked. We learned that real quick. That's why I was like, we'll scratch this. Let's do this campaign. Pick your character.
Well, it was a game that excelled if you were using
Pre
the mid-level or higher pre-established guys.
Yes. If you were using the actual Marvel characters, it was great. If you were trying to put your shield agent in the middle of that, and doing it randomly,
Yeah, without doing some kind of house rule where you
you
pick your
gonna
house.
be screwed up. What's your greatest superpower? I'm really, really rich.
It's a solid power.
It wasn't
That's
that
it. Batman's only power.
He's got kung fu.
good. And he's got gadgets and good count.
Probably. Yeah.
But he has gadgets because of money.
What's he got? Underage boys. Go.
Cannon fodder. I think
The technical
I think
term
it's-
is called
I think the
sidekick.
PC term is cannon fodder.
No, the technical term is sidekick.
Minion. Bullet sponge. I am in the all-concealing shadows. You wear the brightly colored costume and go forth.
Alright, let's move on. I'm the next oldest, so I guess I'll go. The first real RPG I played would have been 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
I played dirt.
It would have been mid-90s probably.
I played the role of grass.
There was a guy at my church that was into it. He got several of us in. I had been familiar with it almost as far back as I can remember. Even when the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was on, I think I was aware that it was a game. I had an uncle that had been into D&D and one called RuneQuest. Which anybody that's played Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest was basically fantasy using that system, without the sanity stuff. But he had left a bunch of his stuff.
Sorry. It was Cthulhu, but without the neat thing.
I mean, as far as the rule system went.
Yeah.
What do you want from a guy called Dirt?
But
But
my uncle had left a lot of his D&D and RuneQuest stuff at my grandmother's, so I had poured through it, as a kid, looking at the pictures, reading the monster write-ups. I had found a first edition AD&D player's handbook at a yard sale as a kid, and for years running around with that as my spell book. I'd go out and play the pasture, run around to the woods or whatever.
So you were actually doing shit to make the whole satanic panic make sense. I was running around, but this is my spell book in the woods.
Yeah, it was a little after the Satanic Panic, though.
That locked you in your damn room. First weird something I saw, I blamed you. Get this kid the fuck out of here. Board school. I watched the 700 Club. That used to be a thing. It was, and I played D&D, and then one night Beelzebub was over my bed. He was taking me to hell. I remember watching that going, really?
How damn good were you at this
That's
shit?
one of my favorite memes that I've seen recently. You've got somebody with like the full goth face paint, talking about how disappointed satanic parents are when they find out D&D is really just math and improv. But anyway, old Chris got me and the Brooks Brothers and some other folk. Basically, my first real D&D group was all my buddies from church.
This has done us no good.
Like I said, the Satanic Panic was over at that point. Folks were fairly laid back where I go.
Everyone, you're just doing nerd shit.
Well, what was the Satanic Panic? Because hell, like I said, I used to watch the 700 Club. Hell, that was well in the fucking 90s. That hell.
Yeah, but it wasn't really general. It wasn't really a general thing of the 700 Club. Come on.
Hell, makes the most
But
sense.
before that, me and the Brooks Brothers had been really big on playing. Milton Bradley done a game called Hero Quest, which Games Workshop did the miniatures for. Then it was basically a dungeon crawl, but there wasn't really any role playing to it. It was just a combat. So I'd been trying to get into nerdcraft for a while, but I lived out in the middle of nowhere and couldn't drive. So as soon as I could drive, I was into it.
This was pre-internet days.
Yes, this was pre-internet days, or at least early enough that out in the boonies where I lived, we didn't have no internet.
It's hidden by the fact we called it dirt.
But you're really enjoying your us voice
I
today.
really am.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
No, I'm doing the old man
I kept thinking you sounded like the Terror from The Tick.
who was old as dirt.
Fair enough. All right, Taylor. As the token millennial, when did you get into this stuff?
Well, let's see here. I guess if you want to be real technical, it would be fantasy football. That's role playing. You're role playing as a fucking coach, and you're building your team.
Not really, because you don't play a character. There's not really any interacting. It's all just a statistics game. It'd be on par with.
You can trade.
It'd be on par with like Hero Quest.
You can trade. You're playing the coach. You can make trades. You
Yeah.
can position players in and out of
He
positions.
said fantasy football, and every nerd in here started immediately judging him.
It's fucking math, dog.
It's math, man.
It's not the improv though.
No, it's math. It's
You
math.
ain't got no swords, man.
I'm sitting there going,
You're
The
playing.
hell is that shit?
are you trying to convince me or yourself?
You're playing a role.
He's just trying to be disruptive.
You're trying to
We're
make
talking about
points.
today.
And I said technically.
Technically, that was it. It'd been better if you just said, technically, when I was a baby, I remember Jason hitting me with a dice.
I also need to pull back for a moment because I don't know if it was. Hey, Jason. Was the game you made me and Eric play TSR Marvel?
We played the TS Marvel one once. Twice actually, I did that. Once with characters I rolled.
What was the one where Eric was Cyclops, or I was Cyclops and Eric was Beast?
That was TSR Marvel.
Okay, we played that 3 times then.
Okay. And there was the one where you built the robot that you
Play the game. Okay.
It was that. Look,
Change my diaper in a week.
the You guys talked about TSR Marvel like, oh, Roland was crap. 2 characters I made in TSR Marvel were great.
That's true.
Well, aren't you fortunate?
He rolled a freakish endurance for his robot. And then he turned into one of those, like one horn, but Triceratops types. So he round, which you use your endurance for damage. So, yeah, he was definitely some
great.
stuff.
And then I had the thing that could turn giant and had wings.
Seeker. For some reason, I remember its name, because you also had some kind of super sensory powers.
He was great. I turned into a giant, grabbed someone, just slammed him into a building, and went, we're done with this fight! Yay! It was great. I also remember you politely going, so it's at night your wings are out. What color are your wings? And I think I remember picking up, you want me to say they're dark. Should I, though? Because I'm not sure I want to follow your plan, despite the fact it would help me. So there was that, and then we skipped a long time where I played 3rd and a half D&D.
3.5, yeah.
Yeah, 3rd and a half.
What edition was that we played that time that we couldn't get killed?
That was when Arrington wanted to go back and play 2nd edition.
Okay, that thing was horrible.
You couldn't be killed?
The game sucked, and me and Jason kept trying to die. He wouldn't let us.
Because he was running his first level character, so,
A house cat can kill you?
basically. So, I fall from the roof onto a table where a bunch of gnolls are playing cards. So I get up and kick the first one in the face. Kills me with 1 lick. He has me make some saving throws, and I get back up with 1 hit point. So I kick the next one in the face. That was the birth of Zoot the Immortal.
That's
Yep.
what I asked you.
My
Is that
halfling
Zoot?
investigator, who I have built in multiple campaigns.
Usually in ones that you think are gonna suck.
Yeah, there was that one 3.5 game I built him in.
He is the red flag character.
I did
If
build
you
him as
see-
an NPC in that Eberron, or not the Pathfinder game that you came on the tail end of.
Okay.
If you see Zoot the Immortal, you
Because
beat
wasn't
him.
that Zoot that held up when the cave doors were closed and I fastball specialed him and
Yep.
missed and hit the
Because I told
fucking
you,
wall?
throw me through the gap before the door closes, and you flub the roll. You can almost roll 20s on demand, and then you flub that roll right next to the door. That was a Wayne's campaign where the kobolds had clearly gone to West Point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was what the first 3.0 game we played with Wayne, and we
Maybe.
we none of us really knew the rules that well, and he was arguing with me. My guy had a spear, and I was doing that. Okay, you can't reach him with your spear. The length of the spear is X. The distance I'm away from him is less than that. I can stab them with the spear and not lose the spear, Wayne. That's how spears work.
It matters whether or not you had reach though.
The trick is,
So what was the first campaign you really got into? Because the Marvel stuff was all little 1-shots, I think.
Yeah. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I did play some BattleTech one time, but that was not RPG. You just wanted to test.
Yeah,
BattleTech
and that
combat.
was just the combat section.
Gosh, things blow up fast in that game. Anyway,
When you play the little dinky mix, yeah.
the first actual storyline was 3rd and a half with your Pathfinder your campaign in 3rd and a half edition.
Yeah, the Eberron game.
Yeah, the
He
Eberron.
came in for the second half of that. Knowing what the big twist was, so I'd sit there while the players were completely clueless as to what was about to happen to them. And he's sitting there going,
They kept
Trying.
trying to kill the king! Why do you keep trying to kill the king, damn it? I had to knock his ass out so you wouldn't murder him.
because in the official setting, it's one of the secrets that the king is actually a vampire, posing as his own grandson. Well, everybody read that part of the book, even though, it was shaded where, the players weren't supposed to. So I flipped it. Instead of the grandson being locked up in jail somewhere, the grandson had won versus his grandfather and locked the vampire up. So they wound up freeing the vampire and putting him back on the throne. It was great. They still complain about it.
Yeah, I had a fun moment of my character had just showed up. Everyone knows I'm a ranger. No one asked where my animal companion was. Until we're in the middle of a fight and I reach my pocket and throw him. Because I had a bear. I had a spell that could shrink the bear, so it would be backpack sized. And the bear wore a belt that allowed it to shrink again to the size of a little ball.
Pokemon.
Yes,
He had a
I
Pokemon.
literally had a Pokemon wing. And just threw through a bear that then grew again into was it a bear or a dire bear? I think it was just a bear.
I think it was just a bear.
It got cut in half.
Still
immediately.
shocking.
Yeah, it died the first session it showed
It
up.
died the first session, and then we got rods from immovable forest. Yeah, I left 2 of them there to position the halves of the bear so that when they opened the door, it would just be standing there. Because fuck you guys for killing my bear.
Well, you were breaking into a prison to get somebody else.
Yes. And it was also fun because when making the character, you said, yeah, they're in this place. There's a lot of undead. They're going to a place with dwarves. Rangers could have chosen enemies.
Favorite.
I hate dwarves and undead, which really explained why my character said, this country that I'm from, where I'm a spy. Yeah, I'm a spy because I hate this fucking country. Well, I love the country. I hate the fact there's so many undead in this country. I want out. Hey, we're saving the world. Deal. I'll try it with y'all.
Well, you kind of covered some memorable moments from your early game.
Yeah.
Just there, then. Danny, what would you say was a one of the first really memorable moments in your gaming career?
Before I started gaming with y'all, I was gaming with a group from where I worked with, and it was me, Chad, Sid, and Adam. And occasionally, Sid's stepdaughter would join us, or another coworker would pop in and out. But we were the main ones, and either me or Sid tended to run the game. And for some reason, I got 2 moments that always will stick with me. For some reason, Adam decided he was going to run a game. And we're like, okay, so he had the setup, and we kept having these weird things. Ended up we were trapped in like a Mysterio arcade that teamed up, and we were trapped in the stuff we were running into was either illusions or mechanical, But
Basically, you were in Murder World, but augmented by Mysterio.
right, I was playing Forge, Chad's playing Wolverine, and Sid was playing Captain America. And we each step on booby traps, whatever, and get shunted to different rooms. Well, when Chad comes down the chute and lands, there's a door in front of him here and a door in front of him here, A or B. So he opens up the door, and Adam goes, an angry Hulk wakes up and is coming at you. What do? Chad goes, I closed the door. We all lost it, just dying laughing, because just, the simple fact of, I'll close the door, he can't get me. It's like,
I don't think you know how the Hulk works. Okay.
and
This ain't the Hulk for real. Maybe I hit a trigger or something.
I'm over there dying laughing, and the mechanical Hulk busts through the door, and he claws him, takes him out in one lick. But it's like, yeah, I closed the door. I'm rolling. I can't keep a straight face. I'm giggling. Sid's over there dying laughing. Adam's getting mad at us because we're not taking it serious enough. So we finally get it back together, and he has.
You're not taking my arcade murder fantasy seriously enough, guys. That's bullshit. You're just laughing because you closed the damn door. Mom, where's the pizza rolls?
Oh.
I'm coming. Why is everybody laughing? Because they closed the damn door.
No, we were adults by this point, dude.
Oh, sorry. Honey, where's the pizza rolls?
He's old enough that even being an adult, it's still early.
Yeah. So, my guy, Forge, ends up at a similar situation. Door here or a door there. I pick a door, I go through, and I'm on the streets of Tokyo. And I'm thinking, okay. And I look back, the door's gone. And to me, it looks like Tokyo in the 40s or 50s. And all of a sudden, this giant foot comes crushing down. It's Godzilla. Captain America comes up. He opens his door, and he's back in World War II, but it's on the.
But it's not in Japan.
It's on a Japanese infested island. And
Oh,
the foot
never mind.
comes
It is
down.
Japan. Did you see Godzilla in the distance?
Can the Japanese infest something? It's like roaches.
Well, Let a man say something racist by accident. Don't worry. We'll ignore it. Invaded.
Invaded. Invaded.
It's infested with Japanese.
The Japanese army
My good
invaded
God.
Ireland. Sorry, I did not mean anything.
Cancel day.
Yeah, just keep going, just keep going.
So, but you know, a foot comes down and it's Godzilla. And he's like, dude, Godzilla didn't show you. Just roll with it. You know, by this point, Adam is furious at both of us. Well, you know, Chad over here has already finished his.
Wait,
He's
I'm
just-
sorry. Did y'all argue? Godzilla didn't show up till the 50s. What are you doing?
Yeah, Sid
Y'all
actually-
really argued that?
Sid brought that up, and Adam
What?
just roll with it.
You did.
So by this
Well, it's
point,
not like y'all motherfuckers open the door and a calendar fucking swings in. It's the 40s. Oh! I mean, what was your argument for that shit?
I don't know, Sid's the one that made
To
that
make them
argument.
all these cars. That's all wrong.
You grown ass men, look at them. Them are trees from the 40s on this Japanese infested island.
By this point, Chad has just sat and clawed through walls until he ends up in the same area I am. And the Godzilla turns and starts to breathe fire at us. I dive behind a wall, and he goes, "What do you do?" Wolverine jumps on his foot. And Adam just kind of looks at him. What? What's he gonna do? Flame breath his own foot?
That's true.
And Adam just clears the board. Like, fuck it, I'm out. And he walks outside and he sits there and smokes 2 or 3 cigarettes. And when he comes back in, one of y'all are running something. He was so mad.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think he had the.
I don't think he had the proper temperament to be a
I know.
GM.
Really, it just sounds like y'all ruined his murder fantasy.
Yeah.
And he
yeah,
decided,
something.
I'm not getting off from this. Fuck it.
Which, granted, in the early days of running games, you're not as good at improv when they get off script. You know, that's a skill that takes a little while. The fact that you take it so personally, you may not have temperament.
The
I'm
second
not
thing,
getting off that. Look, my heart oat's gone. Hell with this.
I have pulled out Godzilla. He always gets me going.
the second most memorable gaming
40s
event
Godzilla and that.
would be during the Wheel of Time game that I ran for y'all. It was my first time really running a big campaign. I'd run little, miniature modules, but that was the first overarching campaign that I had books to draw from. That
But you were writing the campaign essentially.
yeah, and I had y'all run into some of the main characters in the books, and then I would veer y'all off this way to your own adventure, but still kind of running parallel to what was going on in the books. And there were moments that y'all's characters did stuff that's like, this is better than anything I had planned. I'm going to run with this and see where it goes.
And that's what you got to do. Sometimes you just roll with it. And then when it works out, and they think you had that plan from jump, you just sit there and look smug, as not to dissuade them of that notion.
I like that. Just sit there and look smug. I had this planned all along.
When we rolled y'all's characters up for that game, you said, I want to play an ogre. Okay, cool. Todd, I want to be a Mel Chandler. Okay, well that means you're going to be partially insane. Okay.
Sweet.
And then, I can't remember what Patrick played.
Don't try to sit there and remember everybody.
Yeah.
There was like 13
Yeah.
players in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the start it was about
fucking
13,
ton of
14 people playing. But when Mike goes, I'm going to play a female character. Okay, yeah, it was the first time I'd ever seen, other than like in the Marvel game, you're in charge of these 3 characters for this campaign. Because, when you're running with only 3 guys across from you, sometimes somebody's going to have to play an extra character. Okay, you got these 2 guys and this female character. Those are who you're in charge of. But Mike goes, I'm going to play a female Chandler.
Danny looks at him like he's cross-dressing in the game.
And Danny went, you
What?
want to play
A girl? But it just,
job?
because we already, at that point, we had 2 other females sitting at the table, and they were like, okay, I'm playing, that'll be 3 female Chandlers. And I'm like, okay.
2 out of 13? That's plenty of women.
And so,
Hey, in gaming circles, sometimes that's actually not bad.
so by the time it all shook
I think
out,
I-
and he was the
something like
only
that.
female character left at the table, it was kind of weird, you know, because there would be sometimes, you know,
It wasn't
It
weird.
didn't get weird till he married Tim.
Yes, when you started marrying people off to,
When you married Tim, that was weird. Remember, Mike's character ended up married to Tim's character.
yeah,
That was weird.
and you ended up married to,
I had 2 wives.
yeah, you.
but they were NPCs. so-
Yeah, they were NPCs. I was married to Tim's sister and then some other broad, but hell, I was creating.
I want to say Tim and Mike would make eye to each other occasionally.
Yeah, goofing around.
Yeah.
But I think some of the NPCs.
My guy wound up married too.
Yeah, because you were running. That was your whole thing. You were trying to run away. Your guy was trying to run away from being married. Wasn't he?
No, that was that ogre character in the books.
I thought you were trying to hide from your mom too.
You was getting married to his. You were getting married to your
No,
mom in the
no.
game?
No.
His
It's
mom.
ogre culture, don't you judge?
Over
Moms
culture,
would make
the
it get married.
mothers would arrange the marriages. They might know, okay, you like this girl, they'd go talk to that girl's parents and go, we're arranging a marriage.
But no, I don't remember my character particularly fighting it. It was just that we moved around so much it did take them a while to catch up.
But some of the NPCs that I created for that game are still some of my favorites. You know, was it Connor with the shovel?
Yes,
Yeah.
he had this unusual knack for burying bodies.
He shoveled well.
Wayne sidekick Robert, it was way cooler than any of us.
Yep.
How does he flip with crossbows and fire with the bolts fall off? He just doesn't. Okay. Clearly he's magical. We'll just roll with it. That was a really good campaign though.
Yeah. That's actually still my favorite game.
Well, it was one of the
sat
first
out-
campaigns where you stopped being just the brawler.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever played a magic user, and magic users start out horribly weak. So I made a con man. I literally made a con man. And
Yeah.
I
And your
sold
magic-
salve. It was great for hoof and mouth disease. Remember, that was the thing when I gave it to people. It was this salve is great. Because the trick is I had a spell that I could make weapons look like new. I could basically kind of polish stuff up. So yeah, salve worked on weapons. Salve worked on really whatever the hell I wanted it to. Because it was my magic doing it that I was hiding with this crap that I was selling people. Yeah, I was a literal snake oil salesman for the first half of that game.
The stuff would work while you were there.
Yeah. It would work once. I was a snake oil salesman. Hey, you got that? See, it's like new. Yeah, it's mystical magical salve. So,
So other than your salve, what was some of your early moments that stand
I got
out?
a metric ton of those, whether it's Aberrant with us basically, buying drugs with illusionary money, to Club Bastard, to
Throwing a Nazi out the window going, can't take me alive.
That was not aberrant.
Oh, that wasn't ever?
That was Call of Cthulhu.
that was called.
Oh, okay, that was when Eric ran.
And we just pushed him out the door in front of the cops. The ice cream scoop.
Yeah, the ice cream was really vicious. Because
Aberrant was a comedy of errors.
that first campaign was, we weren't familiar with the system. You have something you can put on some of the powers called aggravated damage. That
If you had
one of the Bjorn brothers.
Yep.
Was
The character was-
in her chip.
The character was the one that wasn't married.
I hope that's
That'd be Jonathan.
okay. Thank you.
What was it? Oh yeah, Ink Block was his character.
Yeah. And he had 1 point of disintegrate.
That he had never used except on like walls and stuff. He would make doorways. And there was a guy. Todd was playing the Grimjack.
Yep. And me and this guy had been in a
What was his name? Blockade, something like
blockade or something like that. Yeah, we'd been in a fight in club. We'd been in a fight pit in Club Bastard, and we'd beat the hell out of him. He'd kick my ass. And when he shows up, it was like, if this son of a bitch can go toe to toe with me, we may need to hit him, pretty damn hard. And Jonathan used his 1 point to disintegrate. And it disintegrated everything from his jaw to his stomach.
His brother, who was running the game, describes it as it's like an ice cream scoop goes in right under his nose and just scoops out to his waist. Because he had not described the fact that the guy was still, still looked a little
Yeah,
injured.
he was still damaged from fighting me.
And rule wise, none of your defensive powers worked on aggravated damage unless you had extra, that made them work.
So we ended up hiding his body.
We were in like a crazy guy's lab.
Yeah, we
so
were in a
just
guy's
took
lab.
over the other
There were
bodies.
other bodies that said, we just look at these sick bastards have done.
The fun thing is, our heroes were basically a reality show.
Yeah.
But we kept ditching the cameras because we became suspicious of our employers.
Yeah. Yeah, we kept doing fucked up shit.
It wasn't something my character or your character did, but one memory I've got from that campaign was Arrington is Mr. Magnet, this Magneto type. if Magneto looked like the smoking man.
Yeah, the cigarette smoking man from X-Files. Yeah.
When he had the mercenary chick, wrapped up, and she just threatens him.
Yeah. Let me go or I'll kill you.
I will get out of jail, I will hunt you down.
I will get out of this and I will hunt you down and kill you.
It's not that the character failed any roles.
It's
It's that the
Aaron.
player,
Yeah,
the
Aaron.
player's nerve broke.
Yep.
And he let him go right there in front of the cops.
Yep. That game was a hell of a lot of fun. Hell, the Mutants and Masterminds we played in World War II, where I transmuted the tower into pure oxygen.
Oh, and I was playing the fire guy, yeah.
We did a cold air bomb. Land in the crater. Whee!
Worth it.
Willie's character just barely managed to run out of the fire, run out of the... Our NPC Patches didn't quite make it. But he was a healer, so
Physician
Why they call him
healed
Patches.
thyself.
It's why they called him Patches, because he didn't necessarily heal back evenly.
Yeah, that was physician healed thyself.
I think Patrick was running that one.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see, what do I
Feng
got?
Shui.
Oh yeah, we did some fun stuff. Feng Shui. It's a Hong Kong action movie kind of game.
Yeah.
Relatively simple rules, but you can do some fun stuff with it.
Yep.
Run proper bullets.
Well, including, firing a bazooka at close range.
That is one of my two fond memories of that player.
Yeah.
He did not game with us all that long. But that was a really fun moment with him. And then when, he pissed Gabe off during the Call of Duty game, Gabe just snapped. That was fun. But early moments for me, one early game, it was me and Chris, the guy that got me into actually playing D&D. We were playing, his brother-in-law was running the game, and his wife was piddling around, the kitchen behind us. I made a druid, Chris made a ranger, Derek was running just a little one-shot at a dungeon magazine or something. You have some little critters, I forget if they were brownies or what they were. They were wreaking havoc in this part of the forest. They weren't really attacking people, but they were tearing up the plants and stuff. I'm a druid, so it's nature-based. I'm sitting to find out what's going on and make them calm down. And it was kind of video game-like in that, you had to figure, you had to get something from here. So we've been running around, we've been talking to a lot of people, there hadn't been any fighting so far. We're playing first-level characters, so, we wouldn't last long enough fight anyway. And finally, there's this, we run into this talking tree, I think. Big spider comes down, giant spider or whatever. Well, one of us makes a roll, we identify it as something called a phase spider. Chris don't recognize it off the top of his head. I'm new enough to the game, I got no idea what it is. But I'm like, screw it, we ain't fought anything, I'm fighting this thing. Scimitar comes out. Well, Chris's wife, Valerie, is standing behind us, and she's flipping through this big monstrous manual Derek had. And, and she heard it, heard him call what it was. And then she starts reading off about this just vile poison this thing has got. It's like, we're not going to survive one round of fighting this thing. So she reads that off, and me and Chris just look at each other, and then we dope right out of there. Second thought, we run like, punks. You're probably not a prolific person to say it. So you're not the only one doing that this go around. But that is probably one of my earliest gaming ones that memories that really stick with me.
Was our game group ever run from anything?
Yes. When we played
Yes,
I
responsibility.
think it was the one Wayne.
Wayne,
was
that
running.
first one, that 3.0 game that Wayne ran.
Or was it when Mike was running? Cause it was
No,
the
that
one where
was
Patrick was playing Wee Man.
Yeah, it was the one that Mike was running, where you had that fucking werewolf whirly.
Oh, we didn't run from that one. That one had to run from us because it was supposed to be reoccurring, and we were either it was going to kill all of us or it was about to die. Now this was one where you, Patrick's halfling barbarian, Wee Man, and somebody else went. You know what? We've never run from anything. Screw it, we run. Now, that may have been the Wayne one. That may have been when I was playing.
It was Wayne's because
That may have been when I was playing.
we were in part of the dungeon, and he had rats or something coming, and Todd was like, "Fuck it," and turned and was like, "I don't do rats. My character doesn't do rats."
But that was really just we've never run before. It was
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
outside of Call of Cthulhu.
yeah,
Sometimes you run in Call of Cthulhu.
sometimes you have no choice. People don't have a lot of running in Call of Duty.
There was that one game where we were constantly running around the house because the quasi-immortal killing machine was chasing us.
Well, yeah.
Take a Scooby-Doo moment.
Well, it was like him doing that to keep it busy while the rest of us were piddling around in the house.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't fast. And then I wound up throwing an air tank out in front, trying to pull a Jaws on it, basically. It didn't work. I mean, it slowed it down.
The trick is, even with that one, that was more distraction than fucking
Yeah.
them out. I'm talking about where we go fucking them out.
It's pretty rare. But it was that was memorable from really early on. As far as with gaming with the at shop, the same campaign of the infamous ice cream scoop maneuver. Earlier in it, I'm playing a telepath telekinetic, and I haven't built the character. New to the system, I have not built the character very well. He's just not efficiently built. He's not very stout. You know, the telepathy and stuff made me useful in the investigation portions, but in a fight, I was always kind of in. Well, I go to question somebody, and he shoots me with a shotgun through the door, which is worrisome because I ain't taking up to that point. Had not been taking damage very well, but you know, I'd upgraded him some by that point and spent some experience. So I'm super pleased with my force shield can take a shotgun blast without any trouble. Great. Well, he comes running out of the apartment down the stairs. I'm going down the other side of the stairs. I blasted with my telekinesis. Though I think it was actually a quantum blast. It was the power. So I'm looking at my sheet at all the health levels. Oh crap. I can only do like 13 or 14 points to him. That's barely going to be enough to, that may not be enough to knock him out. Oh well, unload on him. Forgetting that I had bought extra health levels as part of my powers. Where I was doing like 13 points. Yeah, normal humans only got 7. Now, it was blunt force, so it's bashing. So bashing won't kill you right away. You basically go through the little boxes and you put a slash. And then any extra, you go back and start putting the X, which is how you mark lethal damage. So 14 points of lethal damage would have killed you. Or 14 points of bashing would have killed him because it would fill up to 7 and then loop it back around. And I did 13. So, my clean-cut hero accidentally put a guy in a coma.
There was a whole lot of accidental. Oh shit.
It was a system that was potentially very lethal, especially if you went from the super scale to normal folks.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what we were doing.
That was only the second time I played a game period. So it was,
See, I'm glad I really avoided that with my character in my first long form game. So I was looking through how you enchant weapons, and I went, so Peaceful just does extra damage, just straight up? And you went, yeah. I went, but you can't kill with it. And you went, yeah. I went, but I can just kill him after I knock him unconscious. So I just gave Peaceful all my weapons.
That's right. It gave it extra damage, but all the damage for subdual. It would have screwed you up if we had run into certain constructs that you can't take subdual. But I don't really think you ever wind up fighting something like that.
Oh.
Well, I guess you kind of started that round off.
Well, we also have the fun moment where I knocked a Kraken unconscious by going, how much damage is fall damage? All right, I become the projectile. and it took me 2 rounds to fall. And at the very end of the fall, I just added a swing damage onto the, what was it, like
I don't remember that.
10d6 fall damage into the Kraken. But because the Kraken is getting hit by just as much as I'm getting hit by, it took the damage too.
Yeah.
So I'm laying like 5 points of health on top of a Kraken going, yeah! It's this unconscious Kraken below me. Just there, yeah.
Oh, what was that character's name?
Victor Dragnov.
That's right, Victor Dragunov. Because the country he was from was basically kind of Eastern European. I've still got the miniature I used to let you use it.
Then I enjoyed Cleveland.
Oh yes, the Star Wars game where the first session we take a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
I don't think you were expecting that.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
I like the attitude for that. Hey, you start up your own Gavin, you're surrounded by Star Destroyers. Well, we can rush. Fuck that. Get me to the bridge.
You were playing a reform,
A very Sith-style Jedi.
a Sith-style
Yeah,
Jedi.
because I turned out to be Palpatine's bastard. Which I laugh about because now they talking about like Rey might turn out to be his granddaughter. I was like, psh, I did that shit 10 years ago.
Jason, you were playing a.
That was the one where I was playing the Punk Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah, Punk
The
Yoda.
little green guy with the mohawk and all the ear piercing.
And Wayne was playing a scoundrel. Can't remember what Patrick was playing. And Mike was playing the droid, the
Yep.
Killbot. And
Basically, it was the security droid. Basically, it was
an old Imperial security droid.
it was basically the droid from like
K2SO?
Yeah.
that model of droid
Yeah.
basically.
And so y'all had captured an Imperial ship, and you had been around the Imperium enough to
Yeah.
know.
I was packing Sith swords.
Yeah, you were packing old style Sith swords, and so you like.
Yeah,
Right, we're not
my character's thing was these people are used to obeying Sith. Get me to the bridge.
So
And
they,
then I hooded up, and me and the droid went.
and when you got to the thing that you had a couple of them question you, force choked one.
Yeah.
Basically did the whole "you will obey me" kind of thing, and while you're doing all this, Mike's character walks over to the thing and plugs into the.
And he's basically venting the rest of the Star Destroyer to space.
He's in the atmosphere, turning all that stuff off. So the only thing that's alive on the ship after that
the bridge.
is the bridge, and whatever droids are running around the ship.
And I think his Sith sword makes short work of the bridge crew.
Yeah.
No, remember we were keeping the bridge crew. Because what I would do is I would come in, I'd basically do my thing, he'd vent everybody that was on the ship out to space, and then I'd basically make them swear allegiance to me, and I would put one of y'all, this is my lieutenant. We took that one. Then we went to the next Star Destroyer and did the same thing.
And they made the rolls for this, and if I hadn't watched them roll, I'd been like. But you had this one little perky,
Danny tried to stick us with a plucky sidekick.
plucky sidekick.
Yeah,
And
fuck.
Mike was not having that.
Yeah.
Mike was like, "Stay right here, guard the ship." Yes, sir.
Don't wear a spacesuit. Don't get in the ship. Stand right here.
And so they go back up to the same thing. I'm like, son of.
Wayne didn't make that game. He called, how's it going? Oh, we got surrounded by Star Destroyers. Yeah, what you do? Yeah, we took them. I'm calling mine Cleveland.
And he didn't believe it. He didn't believe. I'm like, dude, when you get back to the game next session, you will see that. Oh my God, y'all really did it. I was talking to a dude online at the time, telling him what y'all did. He goes, what? He did. Oh, pray to God my group never finds out about this, because they'll try something like this.
Oh, hell, the last damn thing you wanted was us and Force users. Hell, we pushed shit into
That was the end of Tim's campaign. It was. I was playing That was the first Star Wars game we played because I was playing Sobodo, Three Shades of Brown Jedi.
I was playing Yulov Keldrama.
Patrick was playing. I forget what his character's name was. He was a Mandalorian, or he used to.
Kel Riddick. Kel Riddick was the one that
Yeah,
took
was
the
the-
Star Destroyers.
And
I was playing a Jedi.
Yeah, he was. He was playing.
My guy was falling to the dark side secretly behind y'all's back. Y'all knew I was, but y'all's characters didn't. And we got somewhere, and they had 2 Star Destroyers, and they made the mistake of contacting us visually.
I think it was just one Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it was one Star Destroyer because remember we all did force push on it and pushed the son of a bitch into him.
Yeah. After one of you tried to force choke the captain.
That was
I
the two
did.
of us.
Yeah,
That
we
was
were
the two of
both
us.
forced choking.
Yeah. He started talking crap. We went, and it was cut it off, cut it off, cut it off.
No, I think as soon as he started choking, I think it went off. Like that was a
The dude actually said he manages to get off, cut it off, cut it off. That was Tim. Cut it off, cut it off, cut it off.
And then when they were going to start, trying to turn the ship to shoot at us, we just started force because I read somewhere in the book one time that
where you could stack stuff together.
and we made our rolls.
Yep.
And Tim was like,
team push.
see, Tim's sitting on top of us.
Yep.
Like, okay, you're going to need this, and this. Tim had to get up and just walk around the room for a minute. Come back and sit down. You've pushed it into, was it the moon
Into
or
a
the
moon.
sun
Yeah,
or whatever.
We pushed it into a moon.
And when the next one shows up, we had moved our ship, and they show up, and we started pushing it, and they took off.
But yeah, I think that was the one where we got boarded by pirates.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was Sobodo.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
Sobodo's job, because I always rolled low in initiative. So my job was always to go surrender and you can live.
Yep.
And they'd start shooting at us, and we'd all sort of go bink, 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 bink. And all but 2 or 3 of them would be dead.
And then we'd wade in. But yeah, that the one with the pirates was fun because everybody was just like, "Stop me, we were boarded." Okay.
The door's not locked.
We left the light on for you. We're going to take the ship.
That may have been the ship Patrick went.
Yep, it was.
But
Isn't that the one where he had the Ewok sidekick for a pilot? Or a co-pilot or something?
I don't remember, because we've done 3 or 4 Star Wars
Yeah.
campaigns, so.
I know one of them, he had an Ewok for a co-pilot or a
co-pilot.
mechanic on board the ship.
Yeah, that was screwed up hell of. Wasn't that the first one that we played where me and you got surrounded and hell we basically killed a warehouse full of people? Because in that game,
They kept shooting at y'all.
They kept shooting. Hell, we were reflecting shit back out, and hell, we ended up killing them. It was the 2 of us against a warehouse, and we got them.
Yep.
Yeah, the first couple of D20 versions of that game were pretty good.
Yeah.
Did not care for that third one they did.
Nah. Then you had that shitty one with the vampires.
Well, that was John.
Yeah, John.
And I talked to him, ran into him at a con a few years later. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't even know that damn thing was
And,
pure.
and that happens. When you run a game, sometimes they just flop out.
Pure.
Anita Blake Marvel combos. I
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Because you tried that at least a couple of times.
Yep.
It never did work.
Yep, and it sucked both times.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this thing is horrible.
I got a friend I won't name that tends to kill games. Because he went, I want to play a troll. Well, it's D&D, and trolls are not exactly on the, I would like to play a troll. How can I play a troll? And then he proceeded to attempt to eat one of his teammates one time. And then got murdered by that teammate. And had a real big fuss about it.
Patrick ran a real good Call of Cthulhu game at a con here one time, where we had a player go insane. Not his
Not the
character,
character,
the
the
player. Yeah. We all ended up surrounded.
The player kept making the sanity rolls, or the character
Yeah.
kept making the sanity rolls.
Yeah, the player
I was not in
went,
this game. I was at the con.
the player went nuts. So we ended up all surrounded and basically shotgunning his character to death. Just because we wanted him to go away. Yep, you did it.
Yeah, it happened. It was set in Vietnam, so that happens to lieutenants and stuff.
Yeah.
You got fragged. All right, Danny. What would you say? Because we can sit and do stories from these games all day.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite genre?
It's a cross between the D&D style fantasy stuff and then the Call of Cthulhu horror stuff. equal on those.
Okay.
We're in the middle of running a Call of Cthulhu game now. I am, and two of these guys here are playing it, and I'm having a ball with it.
Whenever we get to play.
Yeah.
That's cool. What would you say your favorite genre is?
Superhero. That's the trick. I love playing superheroes. And sometimes depending, like if I watch the right something, I get in the mood to play like D&D. You know, that's always fun. The trick is, it's when I want to play something different. You know, I have the most fun with them when I can do something like I did with Wheel of Time. I love that guy because hell, he was so different from what I usually played. You know, he actually had a personality.
Your elf in Tim's game,
The one that I based off Prince.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty great. It's a shame that campaign kind of folded before it was actually done.
That was me playing. I never. Truthfully, I made him like he was kind of like Prince, but I had him foppish. He was foppish. He was deadly as hell, but you know, it's one of the kind of things where you know don't let it fool you. But yeah, he thought humans had a smell. So
Your
walked
character
around.
in that one reminded me of a cross between Prince and Zorro from Zorro and the Gay Blade.
He was actually a cross between, for me, he was a cross between Prince and the character from Doom, the one that Sting played. And I will kill him.
Yes, I forget the character's name.
I forget his name, but yeah, that's who I based him on. It was like he'll be kind of a dandy and shit, because that character in the books was actually a dandy. But yeah, I had him foppish, but that was always my trick with him. He would be kind of effeminate, but if you ran up on him wrong, he was deadly as hell. He had some bitch was Dragonborn. He had all kinds of shit, and hell, he had, because of that, I picked one where he was electrical. I think he was a golden dragon. Was his?
Yeah, it was that whole sorcerer.
Yeah, but I had a whole thing where when it came to me and electricity, he was the wrong one to fuck with.
Let's see. For me, I have to go with superheroes as my favorite genre. I don't get to play them nearly often enough because in the various groups I'm in, I'm almost always the one running superheroes. I can really only think of, when you run Marvel, I get to play the first couple of Aberrant games I played, and then Tim's run one using the Masterminds that I got to play. That's been about it for supers that I've played. Now I've run 50 11 campaigns.
Who's been your favorite character that you've ever rolled up and played, or who are your two favorite characters that you've rolled up and played?
Dane's the host now.
Okay. So it's a good question.
Oh yeah, it's a solid jump in.
Yep, the Wheel of Time game. I really liked my ogre running around. In that game, it was called Hafted Axes, which was basically the big two-handed battle axes, or the great axes from regular D&D. So a D12 of damage in each hand, basically. That once I got magical axes, I actually bought dice representing suffering and sorrow. I still have those dice. Those dice are still named. They're the only dice I own that are named. Let's see, other than him, let's see, in a lot of the Marvel games you ran, we were doing established characters. I did Mr. Manhattan in Tim's game, but I'm never really happy with how I had him statted.
Look at you talking about math, about your favorite characters.
Nan, Sam, in the Carl and Wendy group, that you don't know Sam. He lives over in Arkansas or Decatur or somewhere. But he ran a Pathfinder, maybe, or maybe it was in his own little custom world. I forget. It was a relatively short campaign, but I played Nan. She would tell you she was 10. She was actually 13. But any number that she couldn't count in her hand was bad luck, so she'd only play every 10. Use the ninja character class, So she was basically a rogue, you know, for all intents and purposes. But that, and I think she had a level or 2 of Psychic Warrior. So I could have an odd mishmash of abilities. So I built her up as a combat rogue. Got into a, basically like a pit fight, UFC fight that Sam had set it up basically intending Carl's Paladin to be the one that represented us. But as soon as they mentioned it, Nan's hand went up, so she ran in. And it was a fight that came down to, you know, the last 2 rounds of that fight, it was whichever one of us landed a blow was going to win that. You know, she pulled it off. But she had lots of stealth. She could heal herself with some of her psychic abilities that helped her stay in a fight. The ninja thing, you had the kind of shadow clone thing that they clearly stole from Naruto. So, you know, sometimes when they hit me, they were actually hitting one of the, you know, when the clone didn't just poof.
I won't say anything about the fact that that's existed far longer than Naruto.
That was the first place I was aware of it.
It's fine.
I don't know, because it's weird for me, because it's almost like, you know how they tell people, you know, you couldn't pick your favorite child? Yeah, there's a ton of them I like. Hell, Grimjack was fun. Hell, my character in the Wheel of Time was probably the most fleshed out. I really enjoyed playing him. Hell, I enjoyed my character from the first Call of Cthulhu game. You know, he was neat. Hell, I enjoyed playing Brainwave just because that was set in World War II, and I had a, you know, I was a telepath, telekinetic, and I convinced the head Nazi master man that me and him had been best friends our whole life. And I enjoyed the dichotomy because it was like, okay, either you've got to accept that you've been best friends with a black guy all your life, or you got to go tell your superiors that the black guy has a superior brain to you. Either way, it was perfect.
And when y'all got shunted forward into the alternate future, or alternate present, I think he held a grudge.
He did. But
That
yeah,
would put him on the outs.
yeah, but I did. I instead of fighting him, yeah, the whole thing, I changed his memories. No, you don't want to fight me. We've been friends our whole life. And left him like that. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, in the story,
And
I think it
sometimes
was
those are the best-
years before you really got completely over that, as far as the memory being messed up.
But hell, that one was fun. Hell, Simjaza was fun. Walking around with his magical black bladed double axe, riding a fucking wolf. That's because he let me take the Wolf Brother crap from Wheel of Time and put it in D&D. Yeah, so
So it translates over pretty easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically hell like He-Man riding around on Battle Cat. Instead of having a horse, I had a fucking dire wolf as my mount. And hell, could summon wolves and shit. Hey, that character was cool as hell. Hyde. I had a ball playing Hyde.
Oh yeah, that was the
Necessary
Necessary Evil was a campaign where we were playing super villains
Oh.
trying to repel an alien invasion.
Oh, I love playing Hyde because Hyde was. I remember hell playing the one session and I realized everybody thinks Hyde is just the muscle. I'm going to take over. And I immediately started plotting. How in the hell can I set things up to where when we get to the end of this game, Hyde's going to rule this shit? And I think I was taking you home, Danzig. So, when you go double cross Patrick?
Yeah, because Patrick's character was the
He was our leader.
prince or something
Yep.
like that.
He was our leader.
And I was my character was an undead revenant.
Or something. You had invisible skin, so you could see his skeleton. He had like the
Well,
decayed.
no, I had it was like a glowing green underneath and all that. If I wanted to go out in public, I had to put like a rubber mask on and everything. But I looked like Todd said, I looked at him and said, so,
Yeah, it was. Hell, I was taking him home from over at Scott's, and it was, so, when you gonna double cross Patrick?
And y'all had some elaborate stuff planned.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, the cloned army that Patrick thought was cloned from his character so they could duplicate and have more
Yep.
and more of an army. Who were all programmed to be loyal to you. And they even changed their faces from looking kind of like Patrick to looking kind of like yours. It didn't matter. They all got tricked by Aquaman, or the Aquaman knockoff
Yeah.
left on an alien world at the
It
end.
really pissed me off because I really was wanting to do that. This smug son of a bitch tell me what to do. I'll show you. The minute we get rid of everybody, I'm taking over. Hell, I was trying to come up with a bio weapon, but the trick is I couldn't come up with one that wasn't gonna be an alien. And it was like, well, because it was some shit that hell we had gotten a hold of that was like, yeah, Lewis could get there and he could do this. Yeah, but if that gets out of line, that's gonna kill everybody. Damn. Because yeah, the clones were loyal to me, and then I was gonna have basically a bio weapon that if you didn't bow down before me, I was gonna unleash it, but I couldn't come up with something that would let me live. But yeah, I loved Hyde.
Sentinel, he was a good.
Sentinel was my boy. Sentinel, hell, had Blue Marvel's origin shit, what, probably 5-10 years before?
5 at least.
Yeah, before the Blue Marvel came out.
I'd like to interject here. This will be an editor, if you don't mind. It's probably going to be a two-parter.
Like you said that.
Because
Yeah,
we should have tapped you
no
long
reason.
time ago.
No reason.
Oh, how long in are we?
Over an hour.
Over and out.
Alright.
I think my favorite character for me though has to be Long Rand, my shape-shifting master of magic.
Yes, the shape-shifting master of magic.
Wait, how'd you not have him using nunchucks?
Because
He was a monk, you could have.
He's
Yeah,
Li Long. You give Li Long nunchucks.
Tekken?
Soul Blade. Or Soul Edge, what I forget the first game's name.
but as a sorcerer monk.
Well, let me do one more quick question. We'll try to veer off too much from this.
Yeah, we'll just get me on favorite characters. It's cool.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I haven't made enough characters to have a huge list or anything, but like, because Victor, it was my first character. I just kind of let the story go. I was just the guy that kept throwing animals at problems, which worked out. I had a weasel that drank blood from a dragon.
No, it was a titan.
Yeah, so.
And it was a dire weasel. And then Tim killed it. It had survived a massive portion of this campaign. And then Tim accidentally dropped a spell that damaged evil. It didn't damage anything that was good. Well, all the party was good. Except the dire weasel, which being an animal, was neutral. So it only took half damage, but it couldn't take half damage.
Yeah.
Poor body.
It could fly by the end of its life, but it died.
No, that was the second one you got.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, that was Biddy.
Bitey and bitty.
I forgot that I had to get a second one because of that.
Then yeah, it becomes celestial, I think.
Yeah, that was fun. But as far as characters, almost every character I've made for the most recent Icons campaign, because I just keep making them quirky, and it's just fun to make them quirky. And to cap that off is just everything about Unison became fun when we went. All right, he's got, he can make copies of himself. And I was like, well, and then I just pushed like, can I change, the color of the outfit a little bit? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. They're mental constructs for your character. Your brain can think of a different color. And I went, cool. I'm gonna have this one person pretend to be the Power Rangers as a cover for them being a previous superhero. They were a sidekick to someone else. When they became a real superhero, they then pretended to be 6 superheroes to protect themselves.
Because personality-wise, you're the paranoid. Unison is the paranoid Batman type.
Because I'm a paranoid detective. Well, paranoid legal.
Yeah.
My character, while I was able to play him, was really wanting to see his Zord. He was disappointed that he didn't have a Zord.
Yeah.
Because he was a Power Rangers fan, so he was always asking him Power
Oh,
Rangers.
and you missed the conclusion to that season, where he's piloting the little shuttle y'all had into space, and all these weaponized satellites are shooting missiles,
Yeah.
and his clones are just streaming out the back, crashing into them.
Because
They are shooting at them and then crashing into them.
Yep. Because I could make all of them at once, So they'd start streaming the last one, you go, make more! Whoop. And it was a straight line, so as I got further away, it became easier because the missiles were more and more funneled. Straight line until I was out of range, and I went, I have just experienced death about 78 times because my minds are linked with them. I went, that's gonna fuck me up. But that's a later problem because I'm alive.
I thought Zach was going to pass out. He was laughing. So he was laughing. He could barely talk. I could just make out him going, "This is the darkest shit I've ever seen." He's just laughing. Well, Anna's talking. I think was talking about the therapy you're going to need.
Yeah, there are moments that happen like that in games that are just priceless.
Well, and it's those moments that really get you hooked.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's the crazy stuff.
Well, yeah, it's the shit that you remember 20 years later.
The other character from the Icons I'm really liking is the one that I cannot currently remember the name I gave him. The one that talks like country boy but isn't a country boy.
Buckboot?
Yeah, Muckboot. Because he's sitting there talking his accent, and then Anna's character starts talking his accent for a moment, sarcastically. And I go, well, I'm like, are you just making fun of my fucking accent? It's like, I just turn on the dime. and
Turn a
she's-
dime and suddenly he's speaking in a British accent.
Yeah.
Or, you know, tell his attempt at a British accent.
Yeah. It's not a good accent. I know this.
Because the character is from like colonial era. So he's basically British.
He's right. He's basically one of the events of Predator happened at the end of the French and Indian War. Except, you know, the kind of the intergalactic hunters. You know, and, oh shit, you beat one. Yeah, come and join us.
So he's been hunting with him for the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Or 200 years.
Turns out meat preservation works real well on the brain. Yeah, all their automatic preservation stuff keeps Muckboot the same age he was. He's aged very little over the past couple hundred.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun memories of that episode. I remember Sentinel's first appearance, where I was like jazzed over Ultimate Captain America and had him jumping out of fucking moving planes and kicking people in the face.
Yep, because y'all were fighting the Revengers.
Yep.
I was playing the time cop that got sent back, and when your character first shows up around me, I pop into a thing and went, "Hello, Mr. President," and you're like, "What?"
That was the second
that was the
squadron
second.
campaign.
Second squad. Okay, I knew it was one
Well,
of
the
them.
first one, it was for our Saturday group, but we did a kind of one-off starting thing on the Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day our weekly group was at the time. So it was him, James, Jen, and Josh.
Yep.
James,
I was playing the
James
Speedster.
had his at the beginning with. James had his bat-winged Superman knockoff because the bat wings made his flight cheaper.
Yep.
And him and the Hulk knockoff were going at it pretty good. You know, one of them would hit, knock the other one back a little bit, and the other hit, knock the other one back a little bit, and it was going back and forth with no real resolution. So knockoff Captain America here, as the plane comes by, leaps out, kicks the Hulk guy in the face, knocks him clean out.
Everybody on the military base starts singing his song, because remember I had a song for his ass.
Yes. Something about 6'2" and eyes of blue.
Yep. Which was all the lie.
Because your uniform covered you from head to
Yep.
toe.
Yeah, that was a trick, is that character, they had come up with a super soldier serum, but it only worked on people that carried a sickle cell trait, so it had to be somebody of color. And I was it. And basically I made the deals. That was actually the reason why the civil rights thing worked, is because that was the deal that I made. I would basically be a tool of the U.S. government, but they had to get the hell up off black people. Nobody could know that it was a black guy, and I wouldn't have been accepted. So I had the head-to-toe covered costume with the lie that the experiments that I went through, I couldn't be exposed to open air.
Kind of advanced Astro thing.
Yeah, they would kill me. So that was the thing. But yeah, they put out that I was like an Iowa farm, corn-fed something. 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes. I was basically a cat. And that was what everybody, then with songs and shit that had followed me from like World War II. Because I'd been in every war, you know, that America had been in since then. They just didn't always know it was me.
Because it became illegal to put supers
Yeah.
in the conflict. So. Because it was one of those campaigns when y'all get betrayed and you're on the outs with the government. That one of the ways they did it was they disintegrated his suit so everybody could see.
Yep.
See, that's not simple.
Yep. Then you had basically the guy that had he been by Bucky? I know it was that senator's grandson or some shit like that
He was the senator's grandson, and no, the senator's son had been the only other success of your program. Only one other than you
Yeah.
that the process had not killed immediately, and he lived like a month. He had lived longer to go on like one mission, and then he broke. It just kind of broke him down.
But yeah, Sentinel had a huge.
Because that was I had based that guy off of what was his name, Strom Thurmond,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he was the big push behind you never being able to reveal yourself.
But yeah, that character was fun. But like I said, his first appearance, I knocked out the Hulk. Hell, whenever James's character, Superman, got possessed, I'd knock his ass out.
Hell, my character, the speedster,
the-
knocked him out.
the,
one section.
He knocked himself out against Wayne's Green Lantern knockoff
Yep.
Sword Shield one time.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was not a well put together character.
No.
Admittedly, first edition M&M was very all or none, so
Yeah. You had the Russian knockoff me that hell I would beat his ass and take his shield.
the Terror Smith.
He had him hanging up on the
Yeah,
wall.
and my spot, hell, I had all the different times I'd beaten him up taking his shield.
He was only 3 or 4.
But that was the fun thing was, hell, the Terror Smith, hell, because I had taunt. And I would taunt him into doing shit. Because, hell, one time, hell, we were all locked up. And, hell, I taunted him into getting so pissed off he threw his shield at me and he freed me. That was the last damn thing you want was that bastard loose. He was on wheels.
The roughest character, potentially the roughest character in that game, though, was Josh's Mega Man knockoff.
Yeah, he could have been a beast.
Josh was a nice enough kid, little immature, but he was a lot younger than the rest of us. And if he'd been brighter, that guy would have been a monster.
Yeah.
Because he could duplicate other people's abilities, If he had duplicated the Superman knockoff's powers, and then all your fighting feats, he'd been unstoppable.
He'd have been a monster.
And add my speed to that. Yeah, he'd be like, okay, we're just going to stand back here and critique.
All right, we probably need to wrap up today. Y'all want to do a part 2? I got a couple more questions that we could probably do a full show on, considering how this was going.
Sure.
I mean, I thought this was going to be cut into 2 parts.
That is just now.
Yeah, we'll do an hour every now and
Hell, that last impulse we did was an hour and 45 minutes.
I mean, I can sit here for another hour and have y'all talk.
I could just sit here
I'm fresh out of
pointlessly.
fresh out of shit unless you want to talk
then.
about
Now that I think about it, though, I really only got one more question. Let's go ahead and just push through.
All right.
Because we talked about what games we got started on, favorite characters. Have not really talked about what we're currently playing. That was one I was planning, but we'll kind of skip that because we've mentioned the icons, we've mentioned the. So what is a game maybe that you haven't either you haven't played much, or lately, or a game you've heard about that you'd like to play sometime in the relatively near future, or run for that matter.
The StarCraft. You got it's the one that you were telling me about. Starfinder.
Oh yes.
I knew it was Star something.
Yeah. Basically, Pathfinder in the future.
That's one that I wouldn't mind playing.
Oh, S for Genesis. Or is it specifically?
Starfinder is based off the Pathfinder rules. S for Genesis was based off the 5th edition rules.
Oh, my bad.
I read them both at the same time, so I can compare. Though all that really happens is I get confused over which ship. I get confused over the ship combat because they're very similar, but very different.
Everything's the same except for what's different.
And it's similar enough. I'm sitting there going, what was this again? Oh yeah.
But yeah, that for me that would be the one because it just sounds interesting.
Well, it's a lot of your D&D style tropes from Pathfinder mixed with all the sci-fi stuff, which TSR had done that before with Dragon Star.
Gamma World.
Gamma World was post-apocalyptic and had a little bit of everything, but it was not just the fantasy sci-fi mix that Dragon Star was and that Starfinder is. What about you?
I like to play. I wouldn't mind playing another superhero game, something that was new. Though there is a game that I saw on Facebook where it's like based off of kung fu movies. I think it was Hand of Death, something like that. But it's basically where hell you got the different styles of wushu in it. Yeah, I'd like to play a damn thing.
There is an Aberrant second edition coming in.
You know, I'm gonna play that shit. That's kind of a given.
I backed the Kickstarter, so as soon as it's out, I'll have it.
You know, if I could go back and play something, I really want to know where our Wheel of Time characters ended up because we were like that far from like taking over that fucking world. That was one that when we stopped playing it, I was still ready to keep playing.
But the series didn't finish. And the series wasn't finished for years afterwards.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, Aberrant second edition. I really look forward to getting to run some of that. Though I'm complaining a lot about the things that changed in the set. I have got 4 of the main books for a game called Amp Year 1. Well, I've got Amp Year 1, Amp Year 2, put it forward. Which is it makes me think of a lower powered Aberrant. Because it's kind of real world, all of a sudden supers pop up. And then, the next year.
Yeah, I remember.
And then the next year, on All Saints Day, the dead come back and visit you. Well, okay, that's not the super soldier crap that started the mutations. That's some all different stuff. And then into the next year, these amps, the mutants basically, that gathered up, because aliens were going to save them and they disappeared. Yeah, one of them comes back all mutated out, warning people. So now you got these like Silver Surfer level guys showing up and wrecking stuff. Another year later. And all this time, first year, humans don't really know what to do. Second year, they start popping up with gadgets and some high-tech stuff. Third year, they're running around in armored, they don't get sentinels, they run around in armor, in Iron Man-ish powered suits, And you got one character that's, time traveled around. Well, the entire storyline is based on this one guy that went back and tried to change something.
See,
I've been wanting to play that one for a couple of years.
I would like to play that.
As far as, I really can't think of anything non-super that I'm chopping at the bit for. I was really wanting to play Starfinder. I'm running a campaign for that over at Carl Winnie's. I really wanted to play Esper Genesis. I'm running a weekly game over on the Diagram Adventuring Company, and it's on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Esper Genesis, Holocaust of the Jedi. And I guess there's a few little Apocalypse Prevention Inc. would be fun.
It's one of those kind of things where the game system I don't think about often. A lot of times I'll come up with a character like I think I was riding around with you and I was like, I think I'm ready to play a barbarian. I ain't played a barbarian in a long time. Just a good old fashioned.
Well, it comes from being just a player,
Yeah.
as opposed like me or Danny that GMs a lot. Sometimes we think of things from system basis too.
Yeah.
You got anything you'd be interested in playing?
Yeah, I want to do a one-shot like Shadowrun. Just because I just want to play a game where you take a metric load of dice and just toss them. Yeah. That's what
Shadowrun's the one to do that, from what I hear. I have actually never played Shadowrun. Tim ran something in a similar setting, but he was using the D20 Modern.
Oh, that was one where we ended up screwing up working on the manpower. Yeah.
Patrick was playing the halfling sniper, so he's this tall and his gun's this tall.
Was beating up people in the bathroom.
I
I can't remember why. But I remember beating the living hell out of people in
Yeah,
the
because
bathroom.
I questioned him Malcolm X style.
That is right.
One bullet in the revolver. Only I had palmed the bullet that he saw me put in the gun. And I'd ask a question and I'd click on him, then I'd click on me, and I'd ask him another question.
Yeah, that I don't remember a lot, but that's the part I remember. What they doing? They was beating the hell out of people, knocking them out, and then like leaving them in bathroom stalls.
Did you have the ring of cold cocking, or was that
Yeah,
just a
we
joke we were making? It was an item in the
Yeah.
game, but I don't remember if you actually had it or we were just talking about it all the
I
time.
know, but I know I was beating. I was one of them two-fisted guys. I was beating the hell out of people in there.
I think I was playing an elf gunslinger.
I think I was the muscle/driver.
This strong hero.
I missed those 2 sessions. I can't
Yeah, but it was
remember.
only like two.
Yeah,
two
we-
I think
we
I
played.
was having seizures.
Yeah,
may have been.
yeah. That ain't one we played like a lot.
Get what Wayne was playing. I think he was there for it. Well, it was just some D20 modern was new and Tim wanted to try it out. All right, I guess we will go ahead and wrap it here.
I do like, however, from this episode, we really pinned down the most common thing Todd plays. I want to play a dude that just takes his hands and beats the shit out of
But see,
somebody.
that's the trick. But the ones that I play the most memorable is the one where I play like some kind of mage or something. My
Well,
mage
it's,
is
it's when
fucked
you
up.
play against Titan.
Yeah.
John Wayne made a lot of westerns. Quiet Man is his movie that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Because it was him playing against Titan.
I think it was also the first movie he was ever nominated for anything, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm not that involved in John Wayne history.
The John Wayne I know best I work with.
Nice.
A lot of people have been named John Wayne since John Wayne. All right, well, we're going to wrap up here. This was us talking about how we got into RPGs, and what we like playing, who we like playing, what we want to play.
And let's give a shout out to the Godfather of gaming, Gary Gygax.
It was not him alone,
Yes, I know it was not him alone, but
but I can't remember the other guy's name.
See, the person that should have got the shout out was a person that was like, "Did y'all talk about gaming?" Like I said, if the show had sucked, I was going to blame him. So, might as well give us
So
props.
since the show seemed to go fairly well, you think, yeah, fair enough.
So like if this one ends up with like more
The
views
important
or something.
thing to take away from this, if you make comments, we will respond.
yes.
That's true.
Make requests, we will try to honor them.
And
If we get a 1,000 views on this video, we'll put Tarky in a dress.
Get 0 views, I'll go in the dress. I don't give a shit.
He's married, he ain't impressing nobody trying to get him, man.
yeah, but the thing is, the important thing is like, share, subscribe. That whole YouTube thing. Because if
Tell
they
your
share
friends.
that, yeah. Put this someplace where nerds would look at it.
It's the only places I go. Anyway, I have been the experience that some call Jason. And with me today, again, has been
The Todd Father.
CDO 113.
The token person to never actually shout at their mother to give them pizza rolls while gaming. Tarky.
So you're saying they won't be pizza rolls after this?
It's the same at my house.
No.
Don't look at me for that judgment call.